President Biden's decision to pardon his son Hunter, after repeatedly promising that he wouldn't, has come under fire this past week. And now a bombshell report out of Politico alleges that Biden's senior aides are contemplating issuing preemptive pardons to a slew of officials they think might be in the line of fire during President Trump's next term. Citing senior Democrats familiar with the discussions, Politico reports that Biden's aides are deeply concerned about a range of current and former officials who could find themselves facing inquiries and even indictments, a sense of alarm which has only accelerated since Trump last weekend announced the appointment of Kash Patel to lead the FBI. Now, the list of those reportedly being considered for a blanket preemptive pardon includes Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney, who played active roles in Congress's January 6th committee, as well as Dr. Anthony Fauci, who was, of course, instrumental in implementing the most unpopular COVID-19 policies and who repeatedly contradicted himself in testimony before Congress. The very idea of a preemptive pardon is shocking. The exact kind of norm breaking that the Democrats love to accuse Trump of. Think of what a preemptive pardon means. It is a tacit admission that the Democrats believe that Dr. Fauci or Adam Schiff committed crimes, that there would be something to find if one went looking, but also that the Democrats will not and would never go looking there. In other words, if Biden issues these blanket pardons, he will be ratifying the idea that was so aptly laid out by Peru's General Oscar Benvenides. For my friends, everything. For my enemies, the law. It's a complete assault on the rule of law, an admission that the Democrats believe that justice not only is political, but should be politicized. It sets an extremely dangerous precedent from the side constantly yammering on about the dangers posed by Trump to our democracy. I guess we've arrived at the doing away with the rule of law stage of defending democracy. Every accusation from the Democrats is a confession. They say that Trump's appointees are hell-bent on revenge. It is Republicans, they say, who plan to weaponize the Department of Justice and the FBI against Trump's political enemies, as though the Democrats didn't deploy the DOJ and courts across the country to attempt to imprison Donald Trump in an obviously politically motivated witch hunt, as though the FBI were not instrumental in covering up the Hunter Biden laptop story to help Biden win in 2020, as though the intelligence community didn't routinely collude with President Trump's political opponents to undermine him at every turn, both while he was in office and since. Set aside the fact that Trump never persecuted his political enemies during his first term, including Hillary Clinton. I'm asking this question honestly of any Democrat who supports this. Do the American people not have a right to hold powerful individuals accountable just because they happen to serve the interests of the Democratic Party? Do we not have a right to know if Dr. Fauci or Adam Schiff lied to us on purpose, abused their power, committed crimes? Do you not want to know? Most presidential pardons go to people after they have served their time or at least after they've been sentenced. The logic makes sense. You want to know what you're pardoning somebody for. Now, Hunter Biden's pardon was already a norm breaker in that it was issued over a blanket period and before he served time. But these pardons would go even further, protecting people who have yet to be accused of anything. If these are ultimately implemented, it would suggest that there is no crime imaginable that a high-ranking Democrat could commit that their side would consider worthy of prosecution. What a thing to admit. Add to that the fact that there are thousands of Americans sitting in prison, poor and working class people, for the exact crimes Biden just pardoned his son for. Rather than considering their plight, once again, it is the rich, the famous, the elites of their party whose well-being the Democrats are obsessed with protecting. The fact that this is even being discussed exposes how deep the hypocrisy in the Democratic Party goes, how quick the side that's endlessly lecturing about norms is to throw them out the window completely, and how eager the side that pretends to defend the rule of law is to abuse it for the sake of protecting their own.